8 bold predictions for Star Wars Celebration 2025. Star Wars' biggest event, Star Wars Celebration, is returning in April 2025, and these are the boldest predictions for what could be announced at the convention. Star Wars movies and TV shows have plenty to prove in 2025, especially given what a rocky year 2024 was for the franchise. The Acolyte's cancellation was perhaps the biggest bit of news that highlighted the issues Star Wars is facing, but that was in some ways the tip of the iceberg. At present, only 3 upcoming Star Wars shows are confirmed, and although there are many more upcoming Star Wars movies that have been announced, the future of most of the movies remains unclear. Based on the current state of the franchise, Star Wars seems quite likely to have a number of major announcements during Star Wars Celebration 2025. Here are our biggest, boldest predictions for the event. Star Wars will announce the return of Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor. Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor's return in Obi-Wan Kenobi was highly celebrated, and Christensen's follow-up return in Ahsoka was equally thrilling. Now, there have been a number of hints that McGregor and Christensen are returning to Star Wars, perhaps in a yet unconfirmed Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2. McGregor in particular has heavily suggested Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 could be in the works, including by saying there is more story to tell and mentioning wearing the Clone Wars armor. Christensen has likewise made comments about a potential return, saying there were things brewing. Taken together, all signs currently point to 2 of Star Wars' most beloved characters and actors returning to the Star Wars screen. Star Wars Celebration 2025 would be the perfect time to announce this return, especially given how massive McGregor and Christensen are in the franchise. Their return would certainly warrant this level of fanfare. Baylan Skoll will be recast after Ray Stevenson's sad passing. Baylan Skoll actor Ray Stevenson sadly passed away on May 21, 2023, just a few months before Ahsoka Season 1 premiered. In addition to this being a devastating loss in real life, this threw Ahsoka Season 2 into question. Ahsoka Season 2 was confirmed earlier this year, but in light of how significant Baylan Skoll was to the story, especially the Ahsoka finale, it wasn't clear what this would mean for the show moving forward. In all likelihood, Star Wars will use Star Wars Celebration 2025 to announce a recast for Baylan Skoll, surely with all the appropriate respect given to Ray Stevenson. Baylan's arc, during which he was last seen looking for the Mortis gods on Peridea, is simply too important to the show to drop off now. Who that will be remains entirely up in the air, but Star Wars Celebration 2025 would be ideal timing for this significant update. We'll get first footage from The Mandalorian and Grogu. The Mandalorian and Grogu was only announced in January of this year, but it has already wrapped up production. This means that it is very possible that Star Wars Celebration 2025 will show a never-before-seen clip from the movie. This would be a brilliant move by the franchise not only to encourage increased interest in The Mandalorian and Grogu specifically, but also in Star Wars upcoming movies more broadly. At present, The Mandalorian and Grogu is the only upcoming Star Wars movie that has a confirmed release date. Because of this, and in light of Star Wars' many delays and cancellations over the last decade, there is plenty of speculation about which currently announced projects are even happening. Seeing clips from this new movie would get audiences excited about The Mandalorian and Grogu, and hopefully inspire some confidence in viewers who may have doubts about Star Wars' future. Star Wars will announce a new animated TV show. Surprisingly, Star Wars has no upcoming animated shows currently confirmed. In fact, the only shows that are officially coming are Andor Season 2 and Ahsoka Season 2. This thin lineup is shocking either way, but the fact that the only shows confirmed to be coming are live action feels like a significant departure from Star Wars' approach in the past. Some of Star Wars' best TV shows have been animated, including Star Wars, The Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels, and Star Wars, The Bad Batch. While each of those shows had their own intentional conclusion, which was wonderful to see, it's jarring to realize that there are currently no known animated shows coming in the franchise. This makes Star Wars Celebration 2025 the ideal setting to announce a new animated show, however. This makes Star Wars Celebration 2025 the ideal setting to announce a new animated show. There are countless directions a new animated Star Wars show could take, as animation makes almost any storyline possible. Ideas that have been thrown around within the fanbase include a what-if style show modeled after the MCU's What If series and a possible Star Wars Tales of the Jedi Season 2, after Star Wars surprisingly announced Star Wars Tales of the Empire in its place earlier this year. It's impossible to accurately guess, as the possibilities are wide open, but surely an animated show is coming soon. The Acolyte will have more of a legacy than you think. The Acolyte was easily the most divisive Star Wars project of 2024, if not the single most divisive project in the franchise in recent memory. Much of the controversy and backlash to The Acolyte began before the show had even debuted, suggesting at least some of the criticism wasn't genuine or done in good faith. If it was a targeted attack on the show, it unfortunately worked, as the show was canceled surprisingly quickly after its final episode aired. Manny Jacinto, who played Kimir/the Stranger, is among the celebrity guests attending Star Wars Celebration 2025, which may mean news on The Acolyte is coming soon. However, Manny Jacinto, who played Kimir/the Stranger, is among the celebrity guests attending Star Wars Celebration 2025, which may mean news on The Acolyte is coming soon. While there were obviously those who disliked The Acolyte and wanted to see it canceled, there has also been a very vocal push on social media to renew the show. It seems unlikely Star Wars would renew The Acolyte at this stage, although never say never with Star Wars. Stranger things have come back from the dead, but a book, spin-off show, or some other announcement could be in the works. Asajj Ventress' next project will be announced. Asajj Ventress was already an incredibly compelling character when she was introduced, in the canon, in the Clone Wars, but her story took on a new thrilling layer when she had a cameo in The Bad Batch Season 3. Although she had initially been firmly on the dark side in the Clone Wars, when Count Dooku cast her aside, Ventress became more morally ambiguous, working as a bounty hunter but no longer aligned with the Sith. Her shocking return saw a major update, though. Ventress was wielding 2 yellow lightsabers. Based on lightsaber colors and their meanings, Asajj Ventress may be on the light side of the Force now. This is supported by her willingness to help Omega and the Bad Batch and test Omega's potential Force abilities. Even more exciting, Star Wars has confirmed that Ventress will be back, but the exact project isn't yet identified. Star Wars Celebration 2025 would be the perfect time for Star Wars to reveal what comes next in Ventress' story. Some have speculated this may even involve Omega, as the Bad Batch Season 3 ending revealed she went on to join the Rebels. The future of Rey's Star Wars movie will be clarified. Alongside The Mandalorian and Grogu, Rey's upcoming Star Wars movie, rumored to be titled Star Wars: New Jedi Order, seemed all but confirmed among Star Wars upcoming movies. The movie was announced at Star Wars Celebration 2023, and Daisy Ridley and others have given fairly regular updates on New Jedi Order, all suggesting the movie was indeed coming. However, recent events have called the movie's future into question. Most notably, Simon Kinberg was brought on to lead a brand new Star Wars trilogy. It's unclear at this stage whether this will be episodes 10 to 12, which would cause its own host of problems, but the movies will evidently see Rey in an Obi-Wan Kenobi role. This indicates Rey's story is going in a very different direction than leading her own Jedi Order, raising questions about how these movies can coexist. These updates have led to considerable confusion and doubts about Rey's movie. Ideally, Star Wars Celebration 2025 will clarify precisely what the future of this movie will be. Star Wars will reveal whether The Mandalorian Season 4 is coming. As confusing as Rey's Star Wars movie has been, the future of The Mandalorian Season 4 has been equally confusing. Like New Jedi Order, The Mandalorian Season 4 seemed like a sure thing. When The Mandalorian and Grogu movie was announced, though, that changed. Most oddly, Star Wars has yet to clarify whether The Mandalorian and Grogu is a replacement for The Mandalorian Season 4 or if that season is still coming. Star Wars has yet to clarify whether The Mandalorian and Grogu is a replacement for The Mandalorian Season 4 or if that season is still coming. Assuming the franchise knows the answer to that question, which very well may not be the case at this time, this should be addressed directly at Star Wars Celebration 2025. Currently, there is simply too much uncertainty and doubt about Star Wars' upcoming movies and TV shows, especially within the fan base. For audiences to be genuinely excited about the future of the franchise,